continuing the journey of this to Elysium.
Yes?
Yes. Um, Tell me about the
What do
case.
you want to know?
Uh, Actually, I have all I need
Good.
from
What do you want to know?
literally anything about it. I can't remember a single thing.
Maybe you can tell me what you do know to help me narrow it down a bit.
I know literally nothing about it. Only what you told
Do
me
you
before.
want me to brief you?
Brief. Yes, that
Three
sounds good.
days ago, the RCM emergencies desk received a report about a security guard who was found hanged in
No, not
Martinez.
and then
An
I
anonymous caller
report.
said there was a dead body behind the Whirling in Rags hostel cafeteria. The cadaver had been there for 4 days. No one had come to investigate. During that time, the victim had been stripped of his belongings. The caller did not identify him, but used the word lynching. There is an ongoing labor dispute between the local dock workers and the logistics company Wild Pines. I was told we should approach the death as part of this dispute.
É por causa do tipo de perguntas que tu fazes. Who was
To
the
find
caller?
him or her is one of our tasks here. For now, all we know is that the tone was muffled using a device of some sort. The desk could identify neither the caller's age nor sex.
Why hide that
There's a
such?
strong prejudice against involving the RCM in what's seen as union matters. The Dock Workers Union is the de facto police in Martinez. Now it appears they've started executing too. We cannot allow that.
I still don't understand anything.
Okay, well, we are police officers. It is our job to find the killer. So that's what I intend to do. You should try it too.
Imagina cá, police officers get briefed about the cases they're given. Sometimes they forget the briefing though and need to be briefed again. Click on Kim and ask him about the case completed. Sim, okay. If we're from different exits, why are we on the same
I'm
case?
afraid you and I are pawns in a pissing competition.
What do
You
you mean?
don't know? I assumed you were in on it.
I don't remember being on anything.
That's good.
Tell me
It's
about
just stupidity. We shouldn't waste any more time on it. If you want my take, ask me after we've inspected the victim. Was there anything else you wanted to know about the case?
Can we go over the primary?
You mean like a brief? Do you want me to
No.
brief you again? There's
No.
no reason to wing anything. If you didn't get the brief, that's okay. I did. 3 days ago, during that time, the victim had been stripped of his belongings. The caller did not identify
Wait,
him,
does the
but
briefing
used
say
the
who the
word a
victim was?
security guard or worker of some sort hired by Wild Pines. This was just hearsay from Martinez, of course. We need to find out the truth. To find him, there's a strong prejudice against involving the RCM in what's seen as union
Let me
matters.
just make this
The
perfectly
Dock
clear. Our
Workers
job
Union
here
is the
is to
de
find
facto
the
police.
killer.
That's right. You mean like 3 days ago? During that time, The victim had been
Mega
stripped of
cool,
his
I've heard that.
Okay then. Was there anything else you wanted to know?
Would you say this is a mysterious case?
No, it's not a particularly mysterious case.
Why not?
The deceased is a security guard for a corporation involved in a labor dispute. It doesn't take a DeLorean polymath to put the pieces together. I just don't see the case getting more mysterious than that.
Okay, so the case probably isn't mysterious. But could it be sexy?
There was some interest in this case at my station, but not for the reasons you have in mind. You seem to wish there was
Oh, I guess that settles it then.
Excellent. Was there anything else? No, it's not a particularly mysterious.
The lieutenant adjusts his collar. It doesn't look like he wants the case to be more mysterious.
No. The deceased is a security guard for a corporation involved in a labor dispute.
I was
It doesn't
thinking
take a
something
DeLorean
otherworldly
polymath
might
to
be
put the
involved.
pieces
You know,
together.
something
I just don't
supernatural.
see. I can assure nothing like that will happen. Do you know why not?
Because it's impossible, I know that. Still,
Good. Yes. Because it's not part of reality.
There's something the lieutenant isn't seeing. The universe is too irrational, too morally complex. You should convince him.
eu por acaso eu lembro de ter visto uma análise na altura do jogo. Sabes que dizem que sabes quem é que é o vilão deste jogo? Do Disco Elysium? Não, atualmente. Estes seres, aqueles bichinhos ali. Não estás a ver ali na caixinha de texto. Pé do texto não está uma figura. É a mente dele. Aquilo é o império mental dele a falar com ele. São esses bichos que são os vilões do jogo. Porque eles só te criticam o jogo todo. É tortura psicológica. Quem disse que fomos nós que matamos? Por acaso, eu acho que sei quem é que é o assassino e acho que não somos nós o assassino.
No, it's not a particularly
NPCs é o que não
mysterious
falta
case.
neste jogo. É.
The deceased is a security guard for a corporation involved in a labor
Personally, I
dispute.
think labor
It doesn't
disputes
take
are
a dollar,
very
then you are in
mysterious.
luck, because we are in the midst of a major strike by the dock workers union. Maybe more than that. The union clearly wants a piece, not just of the industrial harbor, but the Wild Pines Corporation itself.
Is this a strike then? Or the first shots in a workers' coup?
I expect the case itself to be less challenging than navigating these community matters. This district isn't used to the RCM's presence, and the Union rarely overplays its hand, as it appears to have done in this case.
What? So is this a strike or an attempt to coup?
Strike, coup, revolution, it's brigandage, however you parse it.
You feel something rising through you, a familiar feeling, an opinion taking form.
I spent the last 20 seconds deciding on which side to ground into pig feed.
Politics is habit forming and hazardous. It is also irrelevant to police work. You're right to doubt the impulse. It might be detrimental to our task here.
From an imaginary fan.
Now, was there anything else you wanted to know about the case? No. The deceased is a security guard for... Then you're...
Is this?
I expect the case strike.
You feel something rising through you, a familiar feeling, an
We
opinion
should ground the
taking
workers into
form.
find place and freedom to
When I
behave.
said we have to navigate community matters, I did not mean we have any say in them. I meant we should be careful. If we are not, the shit will blow right in our faces.
From an imaginary fan.
Now, what? No. The deceased is a security guard for a... Then you're...
Is this a?
I expect the strike.
You feel something rising through you, a familiar feeling, an opinion
The
taking
owners
form.
into find place and freedom to behave.
When I said we have to navigate community...
Okay,
From
the
an-
old is
Now,
not-
was there... No. It's...
The lieutenant adjusts.
No. The deceased is a security... Then you're...
Is this a?
I expect the case strike.
You feel something rising through you, a familiar
I
feeling.
don't think grounding
An
one or
opinion
the other side
taken
into
form.
pig's feet will do anyone favors. I am really, really
When I
smart.
said we have to navigate...
From an
Ok, ela aqui
Now,
também repete a mesma
no.
coisa.
It's not a particular. The deceased is a security guard for a corporation involved in a labor dispute. Then you.
Is this?
I expect the strike.
You feel something
With this little
rising through you. A
for
familiar
knowledge, I
feeling.
am unsure which
An
shall to grind
opinion
into
taken
big speed. The
form.
decision must ferment in me, also nationally.
When I said we have
From an
now, what? No, the deceased is a security guard for a
White
corporation
male in
involved
his
in a labor
40s. What more
dispute.
do you
I'm
need?
relieved that you agree.
This time.
Anyhow, let's get back to the case. Was there anything else you wanted to know? Good.
Deixa eu dar quick save. Vamos aqui do skill check. Até tão white skill
Yes?
check, ou seja, não funciona nada. Okay, this scheme, there's a sexy dark mystery twist in a case. Deixa eu ver, tenho 17% de probabilidade de acertar isto.
what if
Oh!
you did it?
What if you did it? Did what? The Hangman?
Yes, you killed him. And then, as part of the plan, you drowned out the memory. Forgetting was merely a matter of convenience. Very clever. Maybe this is why your chest feels so hollow. You did an awful thing. And you can't even bring yourself to acknowledge it. Are you sure you would have the strength to take down a hardened mercenary? You're not in the best shape.
Ainda está no início do jogo, por isso eu não tenho essa certeza. Kim, I think I may be the murderer. I killed the man and then tricked myself into forgetting about it.
And what has led you to this conclusion?
But it all makes so much sense. It would have been so convenient for me to forget all about the murder and everything else.
Thus far, your memory loss does not seem to be convenient for you or anyone else, except insofar as you've managed to avoid doing any work.
So you're saying I didn't kill
I
him?
find that highly unlikely. It's not unusual for detectives to feel complicit in a crime until the perpetrator is apprehended, especially when the investigation is dragging. So let's get back to it, shall we?
I think you should know that I can't remember anything.
No response. He just arches his brow.
I feel like I must repeat this. I don't remember anything. There was heavy drinking involved.
Have you tried concentrating on something other than your personal affairs?
There is a sudden, harsh edge to his voice, like he's tired of hearing about your personal affairs.
What's wrong with personal affairs?
Not a fan. It's just the nature of lieutenancy.
The RCM deploys a self-styled structure called the Decomptage as its chain of command. Every lieutenant is responsible for 2 sergeants and 8 officers. That means the average lieutenant has to deal with quite a few personal affairs. Even you know this.
I do. I'm afraid this is an ethical situation.
Really? You look fine to me.
You look fine to me. I'm talking serious, unbelievable damage here. I saw myself in the mirror and had no idea who I was.
This psychodrama is unbecoming of an officer.
Okay then.
Focus on other people's troubles, not your own. That is a relief. Have you tried?
There is a sudden, harsh edge to his voice, like he's tired of hearing about your personal affairs.
Not a...
The RCM
Really? You look fine to me. This psychodrama is unbecoming
It's not
of an
psychological.
officer.
Some sort of major brain damage has occurred on an unprecedented scale.
Then you should consider seeking medical attention. You can use the radio in my kinema to call your station's Lazareth. Was there anything else you wanted?
Another quest. Okay. É tipo, pronto, o jogo mete assim: encontra o teu outro sapato, escolhe aquele. Tipo, eles vão-te assim, mas eles não te dizem onde é que está. É tipo. Está lá fora, eu lembro. Yeah. Veio o corpo, canta a karaoke. Eles dizem tipo cenas que tu podes fazer, só que eles não te dizem onde podes fazer e como vais fazer. Sim, mas o jogo não deixa porque tens de fazer uma outra cena. You seem to be full. I think you should.
No response. A moment passes. The lieutenant glances. No response.
Have you tried?
There is a sudden, harsh edge to his voice, like he's tired of hearing about your personal affairs.
But I'm completely lacking in basic information about even the organization we're in. Can you
Fine.
help me?
We should get through this day first. Off hours begin at 9 p.m. If you're still having trouble then, I can give you an orientation.
Nice money sound. End of the day, the brief with him.
Fine. We should
So
get
what
through this
should
day
I
first.
concentrate
Try
on?
work. The case at hand. It can work miracles.
Fine.
Focus on other people's troubles, not your own. That is a relief.
Okay,
A
okay.
moment passes. The lieutenant glances at the sports watch on his wrist.
I want to talk about you.
Me?
Yes,
I
you.
don't see how my life is pertinent to the investigation.
You're right. What's there to know about the lame Binoclar?
Binoclar? Is that how they do things over at the 41st? No wonder your clearance rate is so low.
Okay.
Me? I don't see how my life is pertinent to the investigation.
We'll work better together if we have more rapport.
That's a fair point. All right, for the good of the investigation, what do you want to know?
Yeah. Não, aqui a única coisa que eu estou a ver é a ordem que é melhor. É recomendado fazer as missões, porque o jogo vai, o tempo vai avançando. É cada coisa que estás a fazer. Se não fizeres organizares bem, tipo, tens 4 dias para resolver a investigação. Se não conseguires, lixas. Tens de jogar o jogo todo de novo. E eu não quero depois ter de repetir o jogo outra vez. You're wearing glasses.
That's correct.
You feel a slight urge to put the lieutenant down for this, but you can't quite muster enough testosterone.
With this tester. Just observe it.
I guess you don't need glasses then. That's correct.
You feel a slight urge to put the
Glasses
lieutenant down for
are
this.
cool, I
Are
guess.
they? They're mostly just cumbersome.
Don't look like other people around here.
That's because I'm half Seolite, or quarter. My father's father was from Seoul. So was my grandmother, but from my mother's side. It's not an interesting topic.
Okay.
I don't speak a word of Seolite, and I've never met either one of my grandparents. There is nothing ethnic I can tell you, or anyone else. That's because I'm half Seolite.
What is
It's a
Seoul?
part of the world, officer. A geopolitical entity, and a geographic division. I told you it wouldn't be interesting.
You're only making it sound uninteresting. I still want to know more about
You're
Seoul.
barking at the wrong tree. I don't speak a word of Seolite. I've never
Okay.
met either one of my grandparents, and that's because I'm half. It's a part of the world,
Okay, I
officer.
guess it's
I
not
can see you're
interesting.
disappointed. You are right to be. I don't speak a word of Seolite.
Okay.
I've never met either one of my grandparents.
Tell
I've
me a
never been
secret
to
about
no.
yourself. O problema é que este jogo é feito para gozar. Todas estas opções são cenas que são para gozar. O jogo, eu vi uma crítica assim. Considerem uma coisa, quando forem jogar este jogo, sejam malucos. É a forma como vocês têm para aproveitar este jogo ao máximo. Isto é por causa já do plástico que já saiu daqui. É por causa do plástico. Okay, tell me a secret. No. Ask again.
Your brain sends the signal to your lips, but they refuse the order. Something is paralyzing them. You're pretty sure it has something to do with the lieutenant's eyebrow. It's like you're locked down.
Give up. There's nothing you can do.
The lieutenant relaxes his eyebrow, and you seem to regain control of yourself.
Vou tentar outra vez.
No.
Your brain
Yes,
sends
yes,
the
again.
signal to your lips, but
Eu
they
vou
refuse
tentar
the
lutar.
order. Something is
Tentar
paralyzing.
lutar
It's
contra
like
a
you're
vontade de falar. What's happening to me?
Something the matter, detective?
What's going on? It's like you're a puppet in his hands.
Give up. Okay, give up. Ah, ok, porque se a minha autoridade fosse grande, se a minha estatística conseguisse, se calhar. Ah, não, não consigo. Give up, there's nothing you can do.
The lieutenant relaxes his eyebrow, and you seem to regain control of
Okay.
yourself.
You ever talk with yourself?
What do you mean?
You know, when you're thinking, do you ever have conversations with, like, your
I
brain?
have no idea what you're talking about.
So how do you know?
What? Think? I do most of my work inside my notebook.
The lieutenant produces his small blue notebook and idly thumbs through a few pages. You're super lucid, yet psychedelic. You don't need office supplies to connect to your nervous system. You're special.
What do you mean? I have no idea what you're
So
talking
you're
about.
saying your brain never just chimes in with advice or warnings or anything?
I can't say that it does, no. When I need to think, I just use my...
The
Okay,
lieutenant,
I
you're
like to use
super
that one
lucid,
sector.
yet psych.
Ok, that's all for now.
Let's change this.
Ok, então vou à procura dos meus sapatos. Que eu ainda não encontrei o meu sapato. Ah, já posso falar contigo, amiga? Eu não podia que ela estava a dizer.
Hello, sweetie.
The elderly woman turns to
Wait, who's Sweetie?
Who's Sweetie? Okay. Who's Sweetie?
Why, you are, officer.
Maybe I am.
And have you found anyone to be sweet to?
I had once wink twice, but then I lost her.
What was with that fucking wink?
What was with that fucking wink?
Seems neurological. Central nervous system's really banged up.
Stop winking. Tap yourself on the side of the head to correct the malfunction.
I see you are still grieving. Well, I won't pry. You must forgive me. I'm getting so scatterbrained. I completely forgot to introduce myself. I'm Lena. My husband Morel and I are staying with our friend Gary just down the street, but I come here for tea when they're away.
This Lena is wacky enough for the motley crew. Hire her on the spot.
How'd you like to roll with me?
Whatever do you mean?
I want you to be my wheelchair partner in fighting crime, riding backyards of corpses, catching sequence killers.
Sequence killers? Oh my. But I think you already have a partner, sweetie.
The more the merrier.
A partner who needs you to help him get a corpse down from a tree.
Jim, of course, I forgot I had you.
Yes, and it seems to me that you do well to stick close to him. He has the look of an upstanding officer of the law, someone you can lean on, and, sweetie, you are looking unsteady. And even if he weren't there, I don't think you'd have much use for me.
You're probably right.
I really would like to help out, but I don't want to slow you down. If it weren't for all the stairs and potholes in Martinez, I'd join you for sure.
Deixa eu
Whatever do
tentar
you
ver só as
mean?
outras opções. Nothing, I was thinking of the lyrics to a song, Wanna Roll With Me?
Ah, yes. Probably Roll With Me by the Fletchers. People often quote the Fletchers at me. Morel says it's my theme song. Whatever do you mean? Sequence?
A partner who needs you to help him get a corpse down from a tree.
I know, but there are also side mysteries, sequence killers, and forays into the paranatural.
I can assure you with absolute certainty, there are no sequence killings taking place in Martinez.
Now, gentlemen, no need to squabble. I wouldn't be of much use to you anyway, sweetie.
Why? 3 heads are better than 2?
Thank you, but Martinez isn't the most wheelchair accessible place, you see. I'd slow you down. Perhaps another time. Whatever do you mean?
Deixa eu
See?
tentar saber o que é que
partner who
acontece.
needs
You're
you to
probably
help-
right.
It seems to me that you lucked out with your partner. He has the look of an upstanding officer
seem
of
to
the
be in a
law.
chair.
Yes, dear. I'm a paraplegic.
A paraplegic is someone with limited or no ability to use the lower half of their body. Paraplegia is caused by spinal cord injuries, like falling from a great height, or a grenade explosion.
A grenade? Did you fight in a war?
No, dear. I'm not quite that old. Although I was injured in the line of duty.
Were you a mountaineer?
Nothing so glamorous, dear. Though when I was young, I dreamt of planting the Revacholian flag on some figurative peak.
What did you do then?
I was a training and development manager at a rapidly expanding mail order shoe company. You'd think it would be a safe job, but I had to be everywhere, and well, once I happened to be under some faulty scaffolding. I was lucky. This was almost 20 years ago, and I was compensated exceptionally well. One can only dream of such payoffs nowadays. No, dear. I'm not quite that old. Although I was injured in the line of duty.
I feel like I was in a war.
Oh my. What happened?
I think I won.
That's how I feel about the accident. I was a training and development manager at a rapidly expanding mail order shoe company. You'd think it would be a safe job, but I had to be... I
Okay,
was
so-
lucky. No, dear.
Were
I'm
you
not quite
a
that old.
death
Nothing
row?
so extravagant, dear. Though what young girl doesn't dream of soaring over a crowd? I was
Okay.
you'd think I was lucky. This was almost 20 years ago, and
Sorry, it
I
was rude
was
of me to mention
compensated
the wheelchair.
exceptionally well.
Let's move
That's
on.
quite all right. I'm used to people asking questions. I know they're thinking about it anyway.
Siento
Is-
que
A
contesto di serie.
paraplegic
What
is
Thanks for
someone
clearing that up
limited
from me.
on
Let's
No
move on.
problem.
I don't know if you're noticed, but I don't know where I am or what I'm doing or anything.
Yes, officer. You look rather dazed. Like a stunned fox. But surely things can't be that bad.
I drank so hard I forgot literally everything.
Oh my. You know where we are, right?
A war zone at the edge of the world.
It does still look like that in some parts of the city, doesn't it? We are in a hostel called the Whirling in Rags, dear. And the Whirling itself is in the city of Revachol.
Honestly, I don't know daily squat about Ravachol. What kind of place is this?
How would I even begin to tell you? Revachol is the most beautiful city in the world. We're fortunate to be here, you and I. I haven't seen very many other cities personally, but everyone says so. Revachol is a rare jewel. This city used to rule the world, though it has seen better days. Speaking of history, you know what year it is, yes?
It's the spring of 51.
That's right, dear.
Oh!
How splendid.
That's it.
Take this pen. Knowledge should always be rewarded.
Her relief is palpable. She was getting pretty worried about you then, but now she relaxes her shoulders.
I can tell that this is taxing for you, so I'll just ask one more question. What regime are we living under? What mode of government?
Jesus Christ, that is obscene. Some kind of democracy, maybe?
Nope. Sadly not. Revachol is what's called a zone of control, under an alliance of foreign powers called the Coalition. We have no government of our own, and what democracy we have is market-driven.
If there's no government, how come there are cops?
Oh dear. And you were doing so well. There aren't any cops in Revachol, not in the traditional sense. The status of law enforcement has been a complicated matter since the revolution. But we should stop for today, sweetie. You look like you need a break. Besides, I'm not the best person to explain the big things to anyone.
She's scared now. She's realized you really are brain damaged.
What is the revolution you mentioned?
A defeat, I'm afraid. The people of this archipelago tried to build something new, something different. The rest of the world didn't like it, so they came and ended it. This was 42 years ago.
What does that have to do with there not being any cops?
It has something to do with everything. I really don't know how to explain it better. A
Just very
defeat,
quick on this, but
I'm afraid.
I'm a cop.
The
Whatever
people of this
it was hasn't
archipelago,
stopped me.
of course, sweetie. I really don't know how to explain it better.
So how did I do?
You were doing quite well up until the end, dear. It does look like you're having trouble remembering things. History and places. Remembering reality in a word. It's very odd.
A sigh. The lieutenant buries his nose in his notebook.
But maybe a fresh set of eyes is what the world needs. And while I'm no doctor, such bouts of amnesia are often temporary, so I wouldn't worry too much.
Who could tell me more?
Someone more educated in sweeping matters. Maybe you should ask.
No, I'm not an encyclopedia. I won't be a guide either.
Of course. Then I don't know. Someone rich, maybe? Wealthy people are educated. Though I don't know where you would find a wealthy person in Martinez.
Another me sound. Get the reality lowdown.
That's a good point. This doesn't look like Rich Central.
Yes, officer. You look rather dazed.
Yeah,
Like
I'm
a stunned
blowing this whole
fox.
thing out of proportion.
But
What did I
She
say?
nods, but still looks worried.
On second thought, things are bad. I don't even know enough to. Okay, don't know.
You know where we are, right?
Let's just very quickly. There's some strange. I don't really know some city
A
of that.
seaside hostel called the Whirling in Rags, to be precise. And the Whirling itself is in Revachol. Yes, and Revachol?
Honestly, I don't know.
How would I even... I haven't... Speaking of history,
Deixa-me
you
ter
know
aqui.
what year it is. Yes?
Deixa eu ver o que aconteceu em Graham no ano. Sure, it's the year 1973.
You're joking. Try again, one more time. What year is it?
It's a bad year in my late 40s or 50s. I don't even know how old I am.
There. The year is 51, and spring has only just started. I'm sure there are better days ahead.
She looks flustered, her hands smoothing out the creases in her blanket, even as she attempts to reassure you. The lieutenant studies you, rubbing his chin. I'm beginning to suspect that you might indeed be completely adrift in this reality, thinks the lieutenant. How can it be that bad? Never mind, we're in this now.
I can tell that this is taxing for you, so I'll just ask one
Deixa eu
more
só ver
question.
aqui as outras cenas.
What regime are we living under? What mode of
I'd
government?
like to think it's the dictatorship of the proletariat, but something tells me
Oh, sweetie. It's really not. There used to be people who thought that way. Other people who wanted those things, but they all went extinct. Revachol is a zone of control.
But they still have cops.
I don't even know what to say. I'm so disappointed.
It is quite disappointing, yes. A lot of people would like some form of representation. There's talk, but for now, the RCM is all we've got. Oh dear, but we...
She's scared.
Someone...
No,
Of course.
That's a good point.
You know where we are, right?
Deixa eu ver where we are. The Whirling in Rex cafeteria. It was on my feet.
That's right. And where is the Whirling in Rags cafeteria itself located?
In Rabbit Hole.
Yes, indeed. Yes, and Revachol? How would I even... I haven't... Speaking of history...
All I know is
You
we
know
are
what
approaching
year
the
it
end
is.
times.
Yes, perhaps, dear. Perhaps. But for now, it's just the spring of 51.
She is perturbed by your not knowing what year it is, but not by your mention of the apocalypse. It must be the end times. The lieutenant I'm
Okay.
beginning.
I can tell that this is taxing for you, so I'll just ask one more question. What regime are we living under? What mode of government?
Cop. We are living under the cop regime.
Actually, we are not. You could say that about almost any other nation, but not Revachol. Try it one more time, officer. What mode of government?
Deixa eu ver qual é que ainda não. Our leaders are fierce warriors who traverse the plains of steed. Civilization cowers before thirst.
Oh, no. Nothing like that, dear. Revachol is a
Okay,
zone of
yeah,
control.
that's
Oh,
fine.
dear. But we...
She's scared now.
Someone...
no.
Of course.
That's a good point.
You know where we are, right?
You volunteering wearing
That's
Rav
right.
shirt?
Yes. How would I eat? I haven't. Speaking of history, you know what?
Her relief.
I can tell that this is taxing for you, so I'll just ask one more question. What regime are we living under? What mode of government?
I believe Revachol is being managed by something called the Coalition.
Precisely, sweetie. Revachol is what's called as but we
She's scared.
some
No.
of course.
That's a good point.
You know where we are, right?
We're dead, hunting each other. We're ghosts.
Now. We are live in a hostel called the Whirling in Rags. And the whirling itself is in the city. Yeah, how would I haven't. Speaking of history,
Her relief.
precisely, sweetie.
Okay, I
But
should
we
stay
should.
because
She's
of the
scared.
shirt.
Some,
No.
of course.
That's a good
Okay,
point.
I'm gonna
Of
get
course,
going now.
dear. Good luck with your case.
Oh, isto é para vender. Vai,
Hello again, sweetie.
sorry. What's this? A bottle of rum has been knocked over. Beautiful dark liquid is spilling out.
That sugary black rum stain on the counter makes you teary-eyed with joy. It's almost touching how syrupy and sticky it is. How long have you been up already?
An hour?
Sweet Lord, a whole hour. And you haven't thought about rum and lemonade in all that time? You've truly extinguished all trace of yourself.
I've been secretly thinking about it all this time.
There he is, the old boy, the devil. You rascal, you. Let's celebrate right now by licking that stain off the counter. Do it. It'll be wild.
Like it, but only a little.
Calmly, the lieutenant looks out of the window, then to you, licking the tasty rum stain off the counter, but only a little. Then
Mas
out
este
of the
jogo
window
é assim.
again.
What are you doing?
Mas este jogo, as cenas que me fazem gostar deste jogo é estas cenas que são uma grande crown. Cenas secundárias, sim. É como o humor do Yakuza. São cenas secundárias que. What are you doing? I'm an alcoholic. I needed to get my
We
head.
should move.
You could definitely go for some more. The titillating scent of alcohol in your nostrils was beautiful.
E por isso ganhei uma nova missão. Find booze and drink it. Well, that happens. Eu imagino. Com ela assim a olhar para a rua. Olha, está ele ali. Olha no chão. A man is sleeping at a table wearing mud-scabbed boots and rolled-down overalls. The back of his shirt reads Wild Pines, endorsed by a logo with a
A
tree.
colorful piece of plastic is dangling from his carabiner. Makes your fingers itch. On the counter, rolled out of his open hand, you see a blister pack of headache medicine.
Pick up the pills.
The man does not mind. You
Either.
probably need them more than he does.
You've just picked up some magnesium. This item is stored in the bottom left corner of the
Sim,
screen
eu sei, eu
above
ainda
your
não como
character
se chama o
portrait.
jogo, amigo, obrigado.
Use magnesium to heal your morale if you have morale
Lieutenant,
damage.
who is
No
this?
idea. Looks like he works for Wild Pines, the logistics company who owns and operates the harbor.
But why is he sleeping during the day?
Possibly because there's a strike going on in the harbor. There's not much to do aside from drinking and sleeping.
Wake him up. 28% chance de correr bem.
There is
I
only
did it.
one way to wake this bone idol from his slumber. Roar like a hurricane. Rip the buildings from the earth.
No words, just a primordial scream. You have to let it go like a primordial scream.
Why the yelling, man?
The 30-something man slowly lifts his head and gives you a pensive look. You're alive? You looked you looked out for the long count there.
Wait, what? No, he was just sleeping.
He
What do
seems
you
pissed off.
want, officer?
What do I want? See anything interesting in your dreams?
Thank God, no.
God, no. Was it pure nothing? Your consciousness no larger than a single grain of malt?
The worker stares at you, his eyes dry from sleep. A web of wrinkles covers his tanned forehead.
I don't know what you're talking about, kind sir. But when I'm out, then I'm really out. No malt grains or whatever. No poetry stuff. Just quality time.
A little me time in the abyssal pelagic zone. You can never return to it now. Only detective work remains. Wakefulness and detection.
Thank God, no.
You're right. Let's talk about it.
Brilliant. Thank God, no.
God, no. Tell me, was it a police free of X
The
something?
worker stares at you.
I don't know what you're talking about, kind sir. But when I'm out, then I'm really out.
A little me time.
Thank God, no.
Was it a fathomless darkness into which we have to be destroyed by? Aye. I'd like a cup. No, I don't like to move.
The worker stares at you.
I don't know what you're talking about, kind sir.
A little me time in the abyssal pelagic zone. You can never return to it now. Only detective work remains. Wakefulness
Why are you
and
sleeping here while
detection.
the others are out striking?
They got it. Majoret's got it. He's guarding the gate. Or just getting some sleep. Or was.
Yours? Point at the bottle and the split rum.
Indeed. Help yourself to some. Wait. No. Oh, it's empty. Sorry about that, pal.
He
Say
rubs
nothing.
his face before burying it in his hands. You can hear a faint snore.
Indeed.
I've already had some. It's a
Help
fine
your
rum.
knocks you right out when you drown a bottle or two.
Tell me about Wildpines. Point at the writing on his overcoat.
That's the name of my employer. I work in logistics.
He doesn't sound too enthusiastic about this.
That's wonderful.
Logistics? No, it's a nightmare.
He doesn't sound too
How's that going?
How's it going?
The doctor lets out a big yawn, then stares at the cafeteria's terrace doors. Some fingerprints glittered on
Haven't you noticed what's going on outside?
I'm not sure what you mean.
We're in the middle of a strike down at the harbour, trying to force some sense into the executive board of Wild Pines. For one, I could use some more shut-eye in the mornings.
He rubs his eyes.
Right to work, right to sleep, I say. That's
Okay.
haven't you noticed what's going on outside?
Of course, it's a total madhouse.
Good. Then you understand the gist of it. We would all be better off without the employers and their employment. For one, I could get some goddamn shut-eye. Right to sleep, I say.
Who's behind organizing the strike?
We are. The workers. The union. We know what we need. What's right for us.
You mean there's no leader?
Okay, I guess there's also Everard. He's in charge of the union. He's smart, knows how to negotiate. He's got our back. We are
Alright, I guess
the
that makes
worker.
sense.
Okay, I guess there's also Everard.
What about the dead body in your yard?
Yeah, what about it?
I'm just trying to find out what you know about it.
You know, people die here every day. Someone's found in a ditch, another one falls in a manhole, a third one gets eaten by stray dogs. If someone has decided to die on top of a tree, then how is it my concern?
Well, little point asking you about the body then. I got other
If you
questions.
get lucky, I might even have answers for them.
Yeah,
You
what
seem
about
cool
it?
with it. Do you have any of those hanging?
You know, if someone has
Someone
decided
has to
to
look
die
into
on
it.
top of a
Looks like
tree,
I'm that
then
someone.
how
Tell me
it...
what you
I
mean.
can tell you this. Trouble's ahead.
What trouble?
You heard what I said. Draw your own conclusions. That's all I know, and I prefer to keep it this way.
The lieutenant gives you a little nod, then makes a note in his blue notebook. So Union people think he was a killer, he thinks. Even sleepy hair. This doesn't help a lot, but it's something. Good work, detective.
Ah, estás a ver? Good work. Eu sou esquisito, mas consigo fazer. Levanta lá. Okay.
The
Alright, I'll
dock
let you
worker
sleep.
doesn't answer. His head is already back down on the table, in sweet sleep.
Ok, vou travar e vou dormir.